Yeah, welcome back to the final part of the international transfer show. Now, one of the most talked about clubs during the window was, of course, Manchester United. So many headlines, so many column inches as well. Melissa, we're going to ask you about their window as a whole in a moment. But Gianluca, Florian, I'm very interested to hear what the perception was in Italy and in Germany about what Manchester United did in that window.
The perception is money, money, money. In Italy we have a song, soldi, soldi. When you have money, you can buy everything and everyone, and Manchester United tried to buy every player in the market. So they have a lot of money, they have ideas, the ideas of Ten Hag, so they bought a lot of players in Holland. But I think the perception is that it's starting a new era for Manchester United, buying players with the logic of the coach, of the ideas of the coach.
Is that a wise move, though? Because you see a lot of European clubs who have that structure where the sporting director comes in and effectively chooses the players.
Yes, I think so, because Manchester United said, okay, you are our leader, and so we follow you. And Ten Hag says, okay, I want Lisandro Martinez, I want Casemiro or Rabiot, I want all these kind of players. Anthony, because if you spend 100 million euro of Anthony, it's because the coach asked for him.
Sure. What about in Germany, Florian?
Well, honestly, I think Manchester United was very close to have a very, very bad transfer window, and we were very sure that this club or the bosses, the officials, will lose their head in strategic thinking. So I think transfers like Casemiro, Anthony, good players, but too expensive, absolutely too expensive. Lisandro Martinez, too expensive. And honestly, I'm not quite sure if it works, if this is homogeneous, because you have still players like Ronaldo, like Maguire, who can make a lot of problems in the locker room due to their situation. So I think Erik ten Hag is a perfect manager for this team, but not for this squad.
So, Melissa, Florian says they were very, very close to having a bad window. When they look back on it now, will they consider that they've had a good win?
I think they've had a very expensive window, a very slow window, and a window in which they could have done a lot of wrong moves, and ultimately it worked out in their favor that it didn't materialize that way. Rabiot costing too much money, and they ended up with a better player in Casemiro, being priced out of what was going to be a low-cost move for Arnautovic, and then the backlash from the fans also made them backtrack from that, and they landed with the forward that Erik ten Hag wanted, which is Anthony. But Frankie de Jong, the player who was going to make that midfield really tick and the Ten Hag system bring it all to life, they didn't get him, and they held on so long to that deal when all the signs were it was never going to happen. So that's a blot against them, and I think they still need that profile of player to pair with Casemiro. Ultimately, United have gotten close to what they ideally wanted, but too late and too expensive.
You're nodding away there, Gianluca.
They criticize too much. Eh? How can we say in Italy we don't have money to spend in the market? We only have to sell players before buying players. And I know that Manchester United fans want to come back winning. But if you spend all this money and you get Casemiro, Anthony, Lisandro Martinez, I think they have to say, oh, Manchester United, for me, did a good job.
But I think that there was a thing what is much more important than every transfer. The decision of Erik ten Hag to decide Ronaldo on the bench against Liverpool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was a very big topic in Germany, and I'm absolutely convinced that this decision has strengthened him in the locker room and in front of all the other players. And
Maguire too.
Yeah, sure. And if you have seen him playing the players against Liverpool, they were fighting. I have never seen Rashford playing like this. And it was amazing to see that they have success since these decisions.
Okay, let's play a quick game of sliding doors. I'm going to go and ask each of you, what's the deal that possibly could have happened but didn't happen, and if it had happened, it could have changed the course of the season and the transfer window? Melissa, first of all, you.
I'd go Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid. That was so close to happening, and I was in Madrid, and all the executives were talking about, how they would unveil him, and they had a verbal agreement. And I'd also been in Paris 2 weeks prior to the announcement that he was staying, and they were all talking about him as a foregone conclusion that he was departing. You know, the media teams were like, well, we need to maximize all the content we can get out of him before he leaves. The other one concerning Real Madrid is Tchouaméni. There were so many clubs in for him, Liverpool being amongst them. And you look at the midfield situation Liverpool have now, you know, that would have done them a world of good if they'd gotten him instead of Real.
Florian?
From a German point of view, I have to say Erling Haaland to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich was pushing for Haaland since over a year. And I have seen the brilliance in the eyes of the bosses when we have spoken about him in background talks. And they really tried a lot of things to get him to Bayern Munich. This is the reason why Robert Lewandowski has left Bayern Munich at a specific stage, not it's a month ago. So he was very angry about the fact, but I think that they have done more to get this player because there was only one chance to get Haaland. This was this transfer window, and he's the absolutely top striker in the future.
It's not easy after.
That's why I left you last.
Gianluca to Sky Germany, maybe.
I say De Ligt to Chelsea because De Ligt to Chelsea could have brought Timo Werner to Juventus, because Chelsea and Juventus, they talked a lot for De Ligt and Timo Werner in the swap deal. Then Juventus wanted so much for De Ligt, Werner has a salary too high, De Ligt wanted to join Bayern, so something changed. But if De Ligt had gone to Chelsea, Bayern should have found another defender.
Was there at any point in Italy and in Germany where there was a feeling that maybe Cristiano Ronaldo could come, maybe he could
in Naples,
land up at
in the last days,
yeah,
yes, in the last week, because when Jorge Mendes has a plan,
you back him to pull it off.
Yes,
Yeah.
Usually he managed to do it. Last year, when he had to move Ronaldo from Juventus in the last 2 days, he put City and United together and battled for this player. So I thought that Mendes, in some way, he could have done this deal.
And Bayern, even though they were saying no interest, was there ever a feeling that maybe?
You have to imagine the situation when the bosses were sitting at the training center and the call from Mendes came. And Salihamidzic often calls Mendes, and Mendes told him, hey, it's not a question about money. Ronaldo can really imagine to join Bayern Munich, and I'm totally convinced that he would have, if he would have called the Bayern bosses after the no from Haaland and before the yes of Sadio Mane, Ronaldo and Bayern Munich could have become hotter than it was in the end. So Bayern can sell such a salary if they want.
Fascinating stuff. Melissa, Florian, Gianluca, and of course, Kaveh Solokol and Mark Berenbeck, who I think are down there having a well-earned coffee.
Italian coffee.
Cheers.
So that was the International Transfer Show. And if you're feeling a little bit low that the window's closed, fear not. Less than 4 months, and we'll go again.